Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my stream. This is most certainly the most extreme build that I'll ever endure. Building Gnome with Nvidia on my desktop, that is half broken. So, let's see if I can bring it back to life, right? So my desktop, in an ISO SSH. So this is what you see, um, right here. This is the desktop that you're gonna see the Linux system boot on. I booted into an ISO and I installed SSH and NetTools, set a password, and then I SSH via PowerShell in my Windows system. Okay, so, um, yeah, this is gonna be a good build. I'm pretty excited for it. And we are building Gnome. Okay, so I'm not gonna dive. This is not step-by-step tutorial, so you have to follow along the best you can. So point sh to bash. And then we're going to install M4, wget, gawk, bison, automake, autoseal, and have build essential and text info. So I'm wiping my drive that I'm going to be building on. I want GPT for a label. And this is going to be an EFI. And I'm not setting up a swap. So if you look, my SDA now is a VFAT on SDA1, and the root file system will be on SDA2. So I'll be referring to the root file system as SDA2 or vice versa, and SDA1 is the VFAT. So going into the book, we're doing 13, brand new book. We're going to start right on host system requirements. We'll run the shell script. This will tell us whether or not we can move forward in the book. And everything checks out okay, so we'll move on to pointing the LFS variable to the root file system. And we'll umask. Everything looks good there. Echo. Everything looks good there. Now we're going to mount SDA2. Or the root file system. Whatever yours is. It doesn't matter. And we'll make sure that the LFS directory is owned by root. And then I don't have a swap. Let's go ahead and gather up the software. Okay, so yeah, we'll duplicate this and then we'll just go back to the beginning of the book, go to the website mirrors, and we'll choose a file mirror. And I want the LFS13 tar file. And we gotta take a trip over to kernel.org. And we gotta get the firmware, so let's attempt to do that now. If you can't get the firmware right now, just get it later before you boot. Sometimes that file mirror goes down. I don't know why, but it's just hard to retrieve sometimes. They do also have a Git if you look, but I always get mine from here. I sometimes have an issue, sometimes I don't. It just depends. So doing a listing on sources, we have the tar file for the packages and the tar file for the firmware. We'll extract the packages. Move the packages back up into the sources. Run the MD5 sums. Everything works. So I removed the 13 directory that extracted the LFS packages tar file, wget list, MD5 sums list, the lost and found, and the check.sh. We'll make sure everything's owned by root. Now we'll move on. And we're going into chapters 4 now. We'll create the first forms of our file system. We need to build Linux in. We need tools for the cross compiler. And then we're going to go into adding the LFS user. And this is all for chapter 6 and parts of 5. And so, or the entire chapter of 5. Okay, so we set a password, and now we're going to chown some directories in that directory layout over to LFS. Doing an LSLA on the variable, you'll now see etc var USR tools and lib64 are owned by LFS. Sources is still owned by root. It always will be, but it has read write executable permissions for owner, other, and group, and or group and other, and the sticky bit is written. So let's SU. Now that we're LFS, we're going to set up a specific environment for chapters 5 and 6. And we're going to export the make flag. And now we're going to run this as root. SU back in the LFS, you'll see now LFS at the command line. If you run an env, you'll see your environments running. You have things like the LFS variable, the LCL POSIX, the LFS TGT, very important. Make flag set, MNT is ahead of the path. Everything looks great. So we're able to move on now. We don't need to really talk about much other than going into bin utils. That's where we start. Extract bin util, cd into it, create build, run, configure, make, install. And this is past one of bin utilities and GCC. This is the cross-linker and assembler and compiler that's going to cross-compile chapters 6 and the end of chapters 5. So going into GCC, we have to extract the math libraries. We got to set up this multi-arc stuff. Create build, CD into it. And then we're going to run this hideous configure script. And then we'll time make just to see how long it takes. But I have pretty decent resources. It's really nothing to talk about in this day and age. But I mean, my computer is probably like 5 years old. So yeah. But I could probably build this compiler in about under 6 minutes. It'll probably be about 5.5 to 6 minutes. So yeah, you have to bear with me while I'm building this. Okay, so yeah, built in just about 6 minutes. And then we're going to do a make install, and we're going to set up the limits file. Okay, so we're moving into the Linux API. And then glibc. Don't forget to run your symbolic links up there that I just ran. Then we have a patch. We got to create build. We got to set up the install path for ldconfig and sln. Then we're just going to build glibc. Okay, so now here, instead of an install, we got a destir install. This is going to install it in mtlfs. And the last thing we're going to do is fix the executable loader. And all the other stuff, that's optional for you. Just make sure the output's the same as what's on the book. And the C++ libraries are a part of GCC. And make install, remove some archive files. This destir will be in the remainder of chapter 6. Okay. So we're done with chapters 5. No, this is what we did. Let's go through it. We went through chapters 2. We ran the host system requirements that told us we can move forward in the book. Then we went ahead and created the partition. We did all that stuff. And then we went forward. We set the LFS variable in the UMask to point to the root file system. We mounted that. We gathered up the software. We added the LFS user we're building chapters 5 and 6 with an environment for chapters 5 and 6. We went into chapters 5. We built the cross bin utils and the cross GCC. Then we used them to packages to cross compile the Linux API, the glibc, and the libstdc++. Now we're going to go into chapter 6 and get all the rest of our utilities we need. And we're going to smash all that against our Linux API and glibc and C++. And we're going to build all that with pass 1 of GCC. This GCC is the cross compiler. It's what's compiling for our LFS system. And this is the basic raw LFS system. And at the end of chapter 6, we will rebuild GCC and bin utils, because this GCC is not meant to run on the LFS system. It's meant to build code for it. This will be built with this, and then this will be meant to run for LFS. We'll enter Shroot in chapter 7. We'll continue on building with this compiler, and then this one will take a back seat. The remainder of these tools are needed because, well, once we change root, so we can expand onto our system, we need things like tar and sed. We might have sed scripts around. We have tar, we gzip. I mean, it's all pretty much self-explanatory. We need these software packages because once we change root, we need to be able to use the system. And the best part is everything up to chapters 8, not including chapters 8, is for chapters 8. Because our final product doesn't come until chapters 8, which is what you see here in chapters 8. So, we are on the utilities. So let's go ahead and get M4. And we'll fly right through this, no problem. And I usually pull the install from history. It's just easier because it's all the same. So the macro process is done. Let's get the ncurses libraries. We need to build tick and tools for the use of the system. And then we gotta, of course, build the libraries. Okay. We gotta install at the end and set up the wide character libraries because we're gonna be using them over the regular. And then we're on to bash. Need a shell, no doubt about it. And we're going to point sh to bash. And then we move on. You got to make sure that the thing copies and pastes, though. Okay, so core utilities. And make tester, and then we gotta move Shroot over to S-Spin and fix up the man page. Then diff utilities. Gotta tell the difference between files and directories. That's a given. And file. Gotta know the given extension. This is a compatibility check. It's a version check. We gotta have the same version of file on the build host as the one we're building. Otherwise, we probably won't be able to build file. And we'll configure, we'll make with the file program. And then we'll install. And remove an archive file. And then find utilities. And if you don't understand why we need find utilities or any of the other software, just keep in mind that the way LFS works is the package we are installing is a dependency for the next package in line, or one of them coming forward. So yeah, just keep that in mind that there might be a possible chance we can't get one of the software packages going forward if we don't have find utilities. They're trying to prepare us for BLFS. So they put a lot of software in LFS, but if you're going into BLFS, you're going to need it all anyway. Okay, so we got find utilities. Now we're going into Gawk. We got to make sure some extra programs are not installed. Extra files or whatever they are. Then grep. gzip. And then we're on to make. And make, patch, sed, and tar all have the same configure script. So I just skip them and just run them. I know the book, so yeah. So we're going to do make first. Then patch. And sed. And then tar. And now we're on XZ. We're going to remove another archive file. Okay, now we're on to pass to of bin utilities. Make sure there isn't a linking bug. There could link to the host system. We don't want that. And then we'll create build, cd into it, and we'll go ahead and build bin utils. That's it. So this pass to bin utils, as I said earlier, bin utils and GCC is going to be smashed against glibc, libstdc++, and the Linux API, cross-compiling it with pass 1 so it runs, pass 2 runs in change root, which we're coming up next to change root into the system we just built after we build GCC. Okay, so same thing as before. And additionally, we have a set script for POS6 thread support. Can't forget that. Have a big issue later on if we don't run that. Create build cd into it and another hideous configure script. And then we're going to time it, make this will probably take, the first one took about 5.5 minutes. Probably 7 to 9 minutes. I don't know. It'll be in there somewhere. It'll be under 10 minutes, but it's going to be a little bit longer than the first one because we're setting it up for a little bit more now. So let's jam. was exciting. At the very end, we got to point CC to GCC. Okay, now we're moving into change root. Chapter 7. So we got to exit back into root. Echo your variable, make sure things are right. Very important. And if you run it right, you shouldn't have an issue. And now we're going to create dev proxys and run for change root. And we're going to mount bind dev to mntlfs dev. Then we're going to set up the rest of the virtual kernel. And then we're going to go ahead and run this if command. Running mount, you'll see it all mounted. We should be able to enter change root without an issue. And that's what it should look like. I have no name, LFS Chroot. So now we're going to go ahead and create all the rest of our directories that adhere to FHS. And we got a historically created a symbolic link mtabs pointing to mounts. It's been in the LFS book since it was created, so it's probably not going anywhere anytime soon. Then we're going to create host, PASSWD, and group. This is because some of the software in chapters 7 and 8 call to these files. They need to be created. They need to be created anyway, regardless, for the sake of the system and running it right. And the only thing I do here is the exec, and that changes it to root. And then we create some log files. And that's it. Now we're on to building get text. And so with change root right now, we're live in the system that we just built. So if we built it right, we should be able to build get text no problem. And then we're on the bison. And there's like 4 or 5 packages in chapter 7 that need to be built. And then we move on to chapters 8. And now going forward, it's going to be a make install. You don't have to destor anymore. Everything we did up to chapters 7 is now null and void. We're change root, so the LFS user took a back seat, the variable took a back seat, everything took a back seat. Now we're change root, so it's make install, it's not destor, everything's good. From here on out, it's just simply building the software until we get all the way to the end of chapters 8. If we do it right, we shouldn't have an issue. If we built chapter 6 right, we should be able to get through chapters 8, no problem. And so we have getText, Bison, Perl, Python, I think then text info and util Linux. And then we'll be done with chapter 7. Just about, we have to clean up the system a little bit, and then we move into chapters 8. Okay, good deal. We're gonna set up the hardware clock directory. You can run that anytime. It doesn't need to be. Okay, make install, and then we're done with that. And then we just remove the documentation. We're gonna get it again in chapters 8. Gotta clean up some more archive files, make it look good. And I don't remove tools until I boot the system. I want to make sure I don't gotta backtrack into the system. And I don't back up the system right now, I'll back it up when I'm done. So this is chapters 8. This is the long haul through chapters 8, and we got a bootstrap GCC in this right here. So I'm gonna bootstrap this. This takes about a half hour, 40 minutes. We'll time it just to make sure. But once we get this built, we're on the chapters 9, where we do some basic configuration, and then in chapters 10 we build the kernel and we boot. So we just got to get through chapters 8. So yeah, this is where the test of our skills really does come into play, because if we messed up on any of the parts of this book up to this point, we'll know now. So all this is the final product. We did like glibc in chapters 5. We're going to build it over itself right here in chapters 8 and configure it. And that'll be our final glibc. We'll never have to build it again. We do build bin utils again. It's a final bin utils. It never has to be built again. GCC, once it's bootstrapped, never has to be built again. All this stuff, once we build it, never has to be built again. We go into BLFS if we do, and we start building stuff, additional stuff. I haven't introduced the book yet. We have to get through LFS, so yeah. We're on main pages. However, I'm going to take a 5-minute break because we're just about, we'll slam through this chapter, no doubt about it. I just need a quick break to retrieve myself, that's all.
It's hard when you don't get the time to do the things you gotta do. Always moving forward, always on the go. I hope you take a moment to take it slow. Let me be the one to ease your sometimes that it doesn't make sense. It's even harder to comprehend. It's a long night. Say goodbye, then hello. We came here from nowhere, going towards the unknown. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Baby, take a break. It'll be okay. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Baby, take a break. It'll be okay. Let me be the one to ease your
You should go now. Run. No, I won't leave you here. We can run together. Listen, if we run together, they will shoot us from behind. We both die. So, how's about you here? They will kill you. No, don't worry about me. I will hold them. I want you to promise me to survive, to take this message for our country.
Oh, exciting. Very exciting. So we're on main pages. Then we're going to remove the crit man page. Don't need it. And let's go ahead and get the main pages. All that's done. Now we're going to go into Iana ETC. This is for glibc. Okay, now we got glibc. Gotta write the patch. Create the build directory. We gotta make sure LD config and SLN are installed into the right directory. And then we're gonna run configure. And ultimately build it. And that's all she wrote for that. But before we do the install, we got to touch LDSOCONF and run a set script to skip an outdated sanity check that will most certainly make your install fail if you don't run it. So yeah, these two commands got to be ran. Then we're going to skip all this because that's for an update and go right down to the install. Then we'll proceed on to configuring it. So essentially what we're doing is overwriting the glibc we built in chapters 5. And the reason being is because with change root, we're live in the system now, so why wouldn't we want to? We got to configure it anyway. But at the end of the day, we were still in the Debian ISO when we built it the first time. Now we're in the LFS system. We're just not booted into it with grub yet. So yeah, I didn't think that worked right because I hit the wrong keys. And we got to fix a hard-coded path in the executable loader. Very important. You'll get an error message if you don't. And it's funny because I actually forgot to run it, and I got all the way out to glib, I think it was, on BLFS. Or it was somewhere out there. I can't remember where it was. I think it was G-object introspection, I think it was. That I was building, and I got an error message, and this was actually the issue, was I forgot to run it. So I didn't run this in one of my builds once, and it actually didn't error out anything until I got to G-object introspection in BLFS. Then I had to backtrack. So yeah, it's very important that you run that. Now we're going to move down. And the first one I run is the top one. And you got to know your locales. So yeah, very important. And I'm doing ENUS. So what I'm going to do is the UTF-8 and the ISO standard. I do them both. So if I do a locale-A, these are my locales. That's what I'm going with. And I'm going to set up the name server switch. And then the time zone data, and this doesn't have to be modified. And if you get an issue with this, check your time zone data version in the book and compare it with what's in sources. Now we're going to go ahead and put, I'll run TZ select. And so you're going to choose the number corresponding to where you're at. And mine is American New York. I'm going to modify this symbolic link and put that in there. And that's it. Now set up the LD, SOC, and F. Very important. And then we're going to add an include statement in there and create the LD, SOC, and F.D. That's it for glibc. Now we're on to a bunch of compression software. And the first one is zlib. We're going to remove a static library at the bottom, and then we move into bzip2. We got a patch. We got 2 set scripts. And then we got to create a shared library. Build the program. Install it with a prefix. Set up the shared library. And some more stuff with the shared library. And then we got to set up the program. And at the bottom, we're going to remove the static library. Now we're on to XZ. And that's just a make and make install, so we'll skip past that. We'll copy this. And this is compression. And then ZSTD. Okay, and then I did run that install. I didn't wait for it to get done. Okay, now we're on the file. And then read line. And that's a linking bug in LD config. If it gets reinstalled, we got our path that needs to be removed. It's a security issue. And then we're going to go ahead and fix an identified upstream problem. Then we're going to configure. And we got to build with the ncurses libraries we built in chapter 6. Then we install. And I'm going to run LD config. You probably don't have to, but I don't know what that's all about. I'm not going to. I think what that is it's about these two set scripts up here at the top. Somewhere down the line, we did something with LD config. I'll just run it. There, it's done. And then we'll go ahead and install the documentation and then move into PCRE. Okay. And that's just a make install, and then M4. And then BC. BC is just to make install. We'll move into Flex. So M4 is done. Now let's extract BC. Run that configure script. Make install. Now we're on the Flex. We got to point Lex to Flex. And then tickle. That's the configure script, and then we got to we got to set up the install path in 3 files. And then we just skip that, go to the install. And then we got to make a shared library writable for removal of debugging symbols. Set up the headers for expect. Set up these the executable. And get the get the documentation. So that's what we're doing. I don't need Deja GNU because I'm never going to test the software, but we do need tickle and expect. I just get Deja GNU because I don't like skipping software in the book. I just go through the book, you know. I like to stay in sync with the book the best I can. But I really don't need testing framework because I don't ever test the stuff. And we're going to run this command right here. If you get an OK right here, then you're able to move on. If not, your cheroot's set up wrong. And so, overlapping mounts, running the commands more than once. What I recommend is reboot the system and reset up cheroot. Export the variable, mount the partition, mount the virtual kernel again, and then enter cheroot again. What you've built up to this point may or may not be broken. It depends. But as long as you get the OK, congratulations, you can move forward. And then Deja GNU. Got to create a build directory for this. Okay, now PKG-CONF. This is a successor of PKG config. And at the bottom, we got to point PKG config to PKG-CONF. And then bin utils for the last time. Okay, so we got a tooldir USR because we don't want to create an unwanted directory. Can you imagine that's what all this is talking about? It's simply run this tooldir USR so you don't create an unwanted directory. You want to read that, you can. I did. That's why I know. We're almost on to the bootstrap, and that's my lunch break. Can't wait. Here it is, 4:06 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. And I'm building Linux, and I'm talking about a lunch break. It's great. So I stream this stuff at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I never get a viewer. Here it is, 4 o'clock in the morning, I got 86 views. I love it. I love nighttime, guys. I'm a night owl. I don't. The daytime is too stimulating for me. So yeah, I'm glad there's a night following, but I'm assuming eventually people are gonna go to bed, and I'm gonna be still doing this. Okay, we gotta fix GCC compatibility. And this is GMP. This is a math library. We extracted these when we built GCC in the first 2 rounds. Now we're building them independently, system-wide, so we don't need to build them with GCC again when we go to build GCC. We can build them with these math libraries that are system-wide. Okay, now MPFR is done, now MPC. Then attributes. Make install, and then access control list. And then libcap. And prevent static libraries from being installed. And we're going to make with the lib. And the same thing with the install. Then libx crypt. Another glibc fix. And build. And down at the bottom, we're going to build this shared library. It's not going to hurt anything. It's only going to help. And then we're on the shadow. And so the first thing we're going to do here on shadow is disable the installation of the groups program in the man pages because Core Utils it has a better version, and also disable the man pages we've already gotten. And that's only like one man page, so yeah. And then we're going to set up the encryption method for our passwords to be the best we can get. I'm going to go ahead and configure. And then we'll make install, get the other man pages we don't have. And then we'll go down, we'll run pwconv and grpconv. And then we're going to make sure that the first user created has the right GID. Okay, now we're going to go ahead because I'm going to run this set script. I guess it's optional, but I don't want user add to create mailbox files. Now we're going to set a password. This is the password. We're going to log in as root when we boot our system. And this is going to be the root password. And I wouldn't set anything complex until you get it booted, then just change it. But you want to make sure you can get booted so you don't have to enter root again and boot back into an ISO. So just put something simple, even if it's just password, just for development reasons. Then once you get it booted, change it. Just know that you want to see if you can log in. That's it. You just want to log into your system. Once you're logged in, you can set it to whatever you want. I'm just suggesting that. I've done it a couple times myself where I've set a complex password here for the root user, and I couldn't get logged in. So I had to enter an ISO again, and it always sucks. Because you want to get into the system at boot. First shot, you know? Now we're on the bootstrap, so it's lunch break for me. And the first thing we're going to do, and this is the final GCC, we don't have to build this again. This is it for the entire project. We're going to fix a glibc or later fix. And then set up the multi-arc stuff again. I'm pretty sure that's for LSB compliance. Create build CD into it, and we're going to run this and then stop it. Or whatever works. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to enable this bootstrap. And then I'm going to go up here to the languages. Fortran. Object-C, Object-C++, and M2. That's just to get us built with a robust compiler that will run and build BLFS if we decide to go in and build GNOME. And that's the plan, right? So at the end of the day, I just want a good compiler. I want to make sure it does not break. And I bootstrap this. I compile it with other languages just for robustness and fluency, because this machine right here is what's going to do most of the work. So yeah, it'll take, with the resources I have, it'll take probably 30 minutes to 40 minutes on average. I'm going to time it, and we'll see what happens. Lunch break.
Okay. Let's go have some fun.
So, I'm gonna call it good for now. I'll be back later. The bootstrap will continue on. I'm gonna actually go practice for a live performance on Saturday if you guys want to come around. I'll be around Saturday at 7. I might even take some hours of sleep before I do that. But it's been a good time. I'm pretty happy with this. This will continue on. I'm not going to do anything with it, and then when we come back, we'll just finish up on GCC and finish up the book. So we're halfway done now, so yeah, we made some progress. I'm happy with it. Alright guys, thanks for being with me, thanks for following. We're getting better. We're getting better, I must say. So yeah, come back. Come back and we'll get it built. Gotta hit the bell notification. I never plan this stuff. It's always on a whim. So yeah, you'll never know unless you hit the bell notification. Alright guys.